feel well with Apple Watch Series 8. Plus, a choice of ways to pay with VeryPay.
2008. Once again, Donkey Kong was leaving Japan, and this time he was going to America. But just like King Kong himself, it was this very land that would become his tomb. Donkey Kong Frozen Ape is an incredible platformer, plus the fact it was only $50, what a steal. Unlike their Metroid games, which reinvented the series in 3D, Retro's Donkey Kong games were more about sanding off the rough edges and refining everything that was great about the Super Nintendo games. Incredible graphics, beautiful music, creative level design, intense boss fights. It was all here again in Tropical Freeze. Look at the meticulousness in the sliding mechanics. You could just go for the default slide, very fun, or you could try to resist the sliding. Donkey Kong will struggle to go back up a hill and then he slides down on his stomach. If you hold left though, he'll actually use his feet to push against the slide. Donkey Kong will dive into water. Now look at him swimming. He paddles his little monkey feet. The character animation, the physics of it, it's just so fancy. You gotta love it. That attention to detail is everywhere in Tropical Freeze. This is up there with Luigi's Mansion 3 as one of the best looking games on the Switch, even though it was actually a Wii U game. The levels in this, you know what I'm saying? Look at how good they look. Whenever I'm just shooting through a level, I feel guilty, like I'm not getting time to appreciate all the little details and the scenery. Look at this boat. Goodbye. The strategic lighting of the silhouette levels, the flowing, shifting camera work of the minecart levels. The hidden animals in the background. Look at that goat. They didn't have to put that goat there. There's probably like 7 players who noticed that goat. More than just looking good though, the levels provide visual context for what you're actually platforming on. In the fall level, you jump up the falling leaves. Look at that woodpecker. You'll jump on a turtle's shell to cross over water. Juicy Jungle has this story thread kind of bridging each level together. In level 1, you see how they pick the fruit off the trees. Next level shows you how they extract the juice from the fruits. Then they start turning that into jello, and then they turn the jello into popsicles. It's really just the circle of life. I love the levels in this game, but we can't talk about Donkey Frog Frozen Grape without talking about the music. For this one, they made a wise decision because they brought back David Wise and he turned into a psychopathic murderer and killed every track on this game. Canopy Chaos. This song is like a hoedown for millionaires. When you jump in the water and that piano comes in, you don't ever want to get out of the water again. Zipline Shrine. For most of this song, the bass is just kind of lurking in the background until it finally gets a chance to jump out at you. Busted by you, oh my god. If you don't like this song, you're speakers are busted. That's the only explanation. It's like the instruments are playing hot potato. The guitar passes it over to the flute. Flute passes it to the steel drums. Steel drums pass it over to some Stevie Wonder sounding synthesizer. Synth passes it to the acoustic guitar. And the guitar passes it to the saxophone. The soundtrack is just pure magic the whole way through, just like the environments. The music is so full of little details and embellishments, and just like the environments, the soundtrack will sometimes sync and merge with the gameplay. My favorite part is when Donkey Kong enters this giant horn and the wind shooting through it propels him into the air. This part is my shit. From Japan to England to America, the Donkey Kong series is an international labor of love. Every studio that stepped up put in 300% effort, and that's why the real deal gamers are still out here looking for that next game. Sadly, Retro Studios' next game never seemed to materialize until 5 years later when it was announced they would be working on Metroid Prime 4. Donkey Kong was left forgotten in a dusty old closet inside of an abandoned warehouse that got knocked over. Nintendo never made another Donkey Kong game ever again. And that's the end of Donkey Kong December. Forever. Merry Christmas, Donkey Kong. You're dead.